present day Emily, and I'm interrupting this video because I'm ridiculous. So what you're about to watch, I actually recorded at the beginning of the month, and it is now almost the end of the month, and I've never posted it. Why? No idea. This is just how I roll, so I thought I would pop in real quick, say, sorry it's taken this long. No idea. Just, oh gosh. So, please keep in mind that I actually filmed this weeks ago. Enjoy! Hi. This is weird. I feel like I have not been in front of a camera in months. You've seen my hands a lot. I feel like I honestly don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this? It's okay. So it is February, and I thought I would give a January wrap-up, a January 2022 wrap-up. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Hopefully it's not ridiculously long, but I want to cover what I stitched, and show you progress I've made, what I've hauled that is stitchy related, not very much, only 2 things, books I read, and maybe give a brief overview of what my plans are for February. That's the goal. Let's see if I can accomplish this, because I honestly don't really remember doing this. It is complicated. So, okay. Let's go over stitchy things. What have I done? I think that is the easiest because I only have 5 to 6 whips that are active, that I actually have working, so I can do this. First I want to cover is I do have a finish. I finished one thing in January, which is fantastic. So this is what I finished. It is a shield emblem. This is the logo for a game called Rocket League that my husband plays with his brother-in-law, his sister's husband. They play it together. It is almost a nightly thing that they do. It is how we keep in touch with that part of the family. It's very sweet. So I made this for his brother-in-law for Christmas. I found a very janky pattern that someone had created from Reddit and made available to everyone that was, just a pixelated photo of this, no grid lines, no thread floss colors. So the white was easy, but I had to pick the blue myself and the gray, and I essentially picked up different blues and grays and had my husband look at them and tell me what he thought was the closest to the logo, and then I stitched it from there. I had to tweak the pattern a little bit in places just because it wasn't equal on the sides, and I wanted it to be equal. But this is the final product. I am very pleased with it. I think it looks great. Yeah, that's my finish. So I have to get that to him. The last time I talked to him, though, he said to just hold on to it, and that when they came to visit, I could give it to them. I could give it to him in person instead of trying to ship it to him. So we'll see. I honestly did not keep track of how many stitches I put into it at all. It is on 14 count black Ada. I do know that when I did count, I used it for a prompt in Magical Stitches, and I put 333 stitches just to finish it, but I honestly cannot tell you the total amount from there. So there's that. Moving on, I've got like a list on my phone pulled up to hopefully keep me focused. My oldest whip is Read Now. The second prompt in Magical Stitches was your oldest whip, and that is Read Now. needle is not cooperating. And I put 500 stitches in this, and that was all. So 500 stitches in this. It started off, I had the M and the A, so I have done the G, I, C, this monstrosity, these lines, and then I've started on this. It is not showing up on my camera, so this is a gray. This is actually a really dark green that I really like. I am color converting this all on my own. It is originally just charted in the gray that I have used for the borders, and then like ecru for part of it. Oh, hair. I like styled my hair yesterday, and then I slept. So this is what it is today. Anyways, so that's what this is. This is fun. It's a nice stitch. It's just, I don't always feel the need to work on it. This is like the only thing that is like really for me, and then I'm just going to donate it to my work when I'm done. So I'm not really in a big rush to get this piece done. Magnets. Okay. Back here, please. The needle minder I have on this, though, I do want to show off. This was one that I got in a cross-stitch Halloween advent, and it's like famous movie murderers in the Scooby van. So we have Jason and Freddy, Mike Myers, Ghostface, Chucky, and then the Chainsaw Massacre dude. I have to get back into the habit of like actually looking at my camera and not at myself as my recording. Alright. So that was that. Then, ooh, that's my big boy. I will have to come back to him. I will come back to my big boy. I didn't even stitch on the last topic. I didn't do the last task. I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at my phone at things that I have in fact worked on. Okay, so that was all of that. I feel like I'm missing things, which I know that I am. Let's go to the monthly. Because, okay, so I did not touch 2 of my projects at all. So I have not made any progress on my owl ornament. Still here. And it is at .500 stitches. So I have not made any progress on that. Which is not good, because that was one of my whip go, was to work on my owl ornament, and I have not. And then I didn't work on I didn't touch my holiday truck ornaments either, so this is still here. And I think that is at, let me pull out my stitch counter for that one. That one is still at 1,500 stitches. So I finished. I showed you progress. I probably should have done this all like a finish, things I didn't touch on, and things I've made progress on, just so there's at least it's coherent. So things I have touched. I have put about 300 stitches in this, and all it is purely box. I have just been working on the frame. I really want to get the frame done. This is great for monochromatic stitching if I just need to or if I really just mindless stitching. My husband and I have been re-watching season 1 of The Witcher to then start season 2 of The Witcher. So even though it was released back in December, I didn't want to watch it. I was like, I need to rewatch season 1 to understand what's happening. So we rewatched season 1. We have started season 2. And this is a great piece to work on during that because it's just straight lines and boxes and it's just all the same color. So it's a great mindless piece and I can actually focus on The Witcher and not so much of like counting and what's happening here. But I know I've put about 300 stitches in on this. I have a new start. It is going to be an ornament for my sister, for my niece, I should say. It'll be baby's first Christmas. I just need to actually finish it. I made such good progress on this. I have almost 500 stitches in it, and then I just stopped, and I don't quite understand why I just put it away. It's adorable. It's, like a mama penguin with baby penguin. Like I said, I have almost 500 stitches in this, I think. I don't know where my counter is for it. Uh-oh. That's not good. But yes, I believe I have almost 500 stitches in it. I'm like looking around for the counter because it's not in my bag that has all of the like floss colors, and I'm really confused. I believe I have almost 500 stitches in it. Now I don't know. And this was on, like, I don't even know what fabric this is. I got it at the store in my hometown in Indiana. It's beautiful. It's this blue. I thought it was perfect for the babies. It's just this little scrap cast-off piece of fabric. And the needle minder is Casper the Friendly Ghost. And that was from the Halloween stitchy advent that I did. There's that. I haven't started anything else. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So then last but not least is my letters from Hogwarts. I am really proud of this. Like, look at this. So before, I really don't want to take the shoe snap off. I had all of the top border is up here. I just needed to finish the owl that was on this side. I finished the owl, which that alone was like a couple hundred stitches, or like at least it was over 100 stitches because it's so many color changes in such a small area, and it's definitely more than you think it's going to be for such a small like emblem kind of thing. And I have moved on to this section, which goes all the way down. I don't know if you can, if it's not pulling up. All my threads are in the way. Ugh. Thread management is not my strong suit. So they're divided by chapters. Like this block is a chapter, this is a chapter. There's a you can kind of tell. There, yeah. Right here. So it'll go all the way down to this line. And it'll go and then like back up. Yes. So my goal for January was to get to this point and like fill all of this in. I did not, but like I was close. I was so close. But I put over 1,000 stitches in this. I started at 11,200 and my final count was right at like 13,000. So almost 2,000. Almost 2,000 even. About 1,800 stitches. Which I'm really proud of that. I worked really, really hard. I really want to get this done this year and ship it off to baby girl. she's already won, you know. This is supposed to go in her bedroom, preferably before she's old. So that is everything. Those are all of my whips. I do not have anything else. What I do want to say, though, is, where did it go? There it is. I have this here that I plan on starting soon. This is All You Need Is Love, is what it is called. It is called All You Need Is Love. It says all you need is love and a good cup of coffee. I will be starting this very, very soon with, I'm happy to announce, with Tess of Tess Stitches here on YouTube. Not Test, Tess. She's fantastic. Please check her out. She is a wonderful, lovely human being. She and I are going to be starting this very, very soon. I'm going to talk with her, and we're going to actually pick a starting date. We have talked about this for months. I want to do it. I am ready to do it. I also really think this is a great February piece. I know it's cheesy, but I think it's a great February piece for All You Need Is Love and a good cup of coffee. So I really would like to start this month. If you want to join in, I was able to find this through Joann's. It is a craft store here in the United States. I found it online and had it shipped to me. That is where I found it. I would recommend also searching like 123 Stitch to see if they have it. So yeah, if you want to join in, this is All You Need Is Love by Designworks. And I guess the company is Lily and Val LLC. I bought it as a kit, and so the kit does come with 14 count black Aida, the floss, which is just white, and a needle. So, but really, I guess you could completely kit this up yourself. You just need black Aida. It is 8 by 10 is the design size, black fabric of some kind, and white floss. So there's that. It is happening. It's gonna happen. Slide that in, close that back up. Okay. That's what I did stitchy-wise. So I am going to go ahead and talk what my stitchy February goals are. I'm multiple days late, I'm not going to lie. It is February 6th today, and I have not touched anything stitchy related in 6 days. I just wasn't feeling it this week, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it was honestly for good reasons. It was my birthday this week. My birthday is February 3rd, and I just kind of took this week to hang out with my family and my friends, and I had a really, really good birthday, but I was also incredibly busy celebrating and being loved on, which is what we all need. And so I really didn't have time to sit down and stitch, which is kind of a nice reason to not stitch. I'm hoping to get back into that now since I'm free. We were finally done. Hence the hair was done. We went out yesterday and celebrated some more, and I'm tired. We are done. But I want to sit, I want to relax, I want to read and stitch and just have a good time. So anyways, so February, I'm trying to set goals for myself. And so I had, and I don't think, I did not achieve it. I had set kind of an overarching goal for myself for the month of January of doing 3,000 stitches total. I did not reach that. Did I? I don't want to do that math. So I did almost 2,000 on Harry, and then I did 500 on my oldest. So that's like 2,300. 300 on that finish. Okay, so maybe in general I hit 3,000 stitches, but I should say I had a 3,000 stitch goal for 3 very specific whips that I definitely did not hit. I veered off that path. I had picked 3 whips. It was like 3,000 stitches total on all of these whips, and did not do that. I veered. So I'm going to reevaluate, and let's take a look for like February, what my goals for February are. Okay. I definitely want to keep working on Harry Potter. I need to make progress on a storybook Halloween. Jeez. I can do whatever I want. You see, I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm like, what is something that I can actually accomplish? I want to be reasonable. I think I really want to get into the habit of touching my whips. I do. I don't want to burn myself out, because I've learned in the past that I will really, really push and push and push and push and push and push and push on one whip, and then I burn myself out on it, and then I don't want to touch it for months, and then it sits. And I don't want to do that to myself anymore, you know. I want to actually have a rotation, actually try and touch on all of my whips every single month, and make progress on all of them, so that way I don't get stuck in a rut of, I really should work on this, but I worked on it so hard last month, and then I have no desire to touch it again. I don't want to do that. You know, that happened with my succulent piece. If you've been here with me for a while, I had a very large, brightly colored succulent piece that I was working on, and it took me over a year because I pushed really, really hard in the beginning and then was just done with it and didn't touch it for about 6 months, which was not cool. I don't want to do that. I did that with Harry Potter last year. I completely stopped working on it after the summer. Again, not cool. So I want to do better about switching things out. And I think the good news is with Magical Stitches and some of the other groups that I'm in, like Daily 30, you know, they do give us prompts and tasks to motivate us and, you know, get us stitching. And in the past, I've been very resistant to switching projects, and I think I just have to get over that. I tend to get going and going and going, and I don't want to stop. And that's not always a bad thing, but I think I need to train myself to put it aside so I don't lose that mojo on it. It needs to rest. Put it aside. Work on something else, and if I'm really not feeling it, you know, maybe put 100 stitches on it, and then if I'm still not into it and I really want to go back to that other one, all right, at least I touched on something else. I can go back to it. I think that's what I want to start doing. So, I will also say I am attempting to not start anything unless I have finished something of equal size or you know, caliber. I don't normally have problems with that, but I can see myself starting something and then I put it aside because I'm overwhelmed with the amount of whips I have. We've talked about this in the past. And I don't want to just have all of my drawers filled with half-started things and then I get upset. So I'm really, you know, I'm going to really focus on not starting anything new unless I have finished something of equal magnitude. I hope that makes sense. Right. Let's go back to Magical Stitches, and all of the events in Magical Stitches have been posted for the month of February. And if it seems like I'm so sorry, my ear is so itchy. If it seems like I'm really focusing a lot on Magical Stitches, I am. I'm a mod for that group, so of course it does get the majority of my focus and my attention and my love because that's my group, that's my jam. I'll try and mention other groups. So for book 1, Oh, I'm sorry. It's February. We have now officially started the book series for the year, which is the embroidery series by Amanda Lee. And the first one is called The Quick and the Thread. I have not yet started it. I opened it the other day and maybe read like a page or two, but I was so busy and I was like in between appointments that I really don't count that as a start yet. Anyways, so we are in book 1 of this series, so now we are into the themed prompts every week. And we are doing something new for Magical Stitches in that we are letting everyone determine their own goals. So instead of telling you, put 300 stitches in this, put 500 stitches on this, we're letting you pick how many stitches goes into a task. I'm just itchy. It's because I haven't been in front of a camera, so everything itches. We're letting you pick with a minimum of 100. So you need to at least do 100 stitches, but you could do as many as you want. So if you stitch and stitch and stitch and stitch and stitch, give yourself those higher goals. Why not? If you don't have a lot of time, maybe just that 100 is good for you. So like for this first week that ends today, I think I have not started, which is fine. It's all about this book series, so they're all themed, like I said. So task 1 is all about the owner has a dog, and so we need to stitch on a whip with a dog. Task 2, you need to stitch on a whip related to the number 7 because her store is called The 7-Year Stitch. Task 3, we need to stitch on a whip with 4 squares because I think it's on 4 square fifth. I think that's the street it's on. I don't remember. Like I said, I've only started like a page of it. And then finally, where would you dine? Mackenzie Mocha's. I think it's Mackenzie's Mocha? Mackenzie Mocha's or Brew Crew. Your whip must have something you would order at the restaurant of your choice. So, I don't know, a food item, a drink item. Again, each of those needs 100 stitches. So like I immediately am like, okay, something has 4 squares. I'm going to work on a storybook Halloween because it's made up of squares. Each little box is a square and things like that. I don't know if I have anything with a dog, but I know long dog samplers tend to put a dog somewhere in their designs. Something related to the number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Harry Potter actually was released in 7 different parts, so I could do that. There's 6 chapters, and then there was the introduction, which was its own part, so that's 7 parts. I just feel like I don't have anything. I have love and a cup of coffee. Oh my gosh, it's the curse. It is like the itchy curse because I've not been in front of this camera in so long. So now everything is bothering me. Essentially, I think my goal is I'm going to be very reasonable. And I think generally I would like to put at least 500 stitches in all of my whips across the entire month of February. But with Magical Stitches, and we have so many tasks, and we have 4 weeks worth of tasks, that gives me the ability though to break that up. So I don't have to try and do 500 stitches in this first week, especially since I just admitted I haven't touched my whips at all this first week of February. But I could go, you know what, I'm gonna do 300 stitches this week. This feels good. I think I could do 300 stitches today on one whip, and then that gets me part of the way there, and I feel good about that. I feel confident about that. Itchy, 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 itchy. This is so stupid. Will I cut this out? I don't know. Okay, let's move on. I'm annoyed with myself. Let's talk about reading. What did I actually accomplish reading in the month of January? Pulling up my book list. Jeez Louise, what is wrong with me? I'm just out of practice, so I'm very sorry. I am very out of practice with doing this, and I'm just like mumbling all over the place. So for Magical Stitches, January, the theme for January, the reading theme for January was brought to you by the letter N. In case you don't know, or you have not participated yet, Vicki has decided to do a Pick Your Poison reading challenge that was inspired by, /created by GregoryRode.blogspot.com. So this is a challenge created. We've picked certain prompts that will be used throughout the entire year. January was number 13, which was brought to you by the letter N, and there were 4 different prompts there. And I was able to complete 2 of them in the month of January, and then I just finished one, but technically, yes, it was a January prompt, but I didn't start or finish it until February, and that's fine. It'll still count. It'll still count towards my overall yearly reading challenge, which I'm fine with. So the ones I did finish, and I will try and put pictures, hopefully, of the covers. No promises, but I will try. So a book with the word novice in the title, I ended up reading The Novice's Tale by Margaret Fraser. It is a mystery series. It is the Sister Frovis series, and that is the first one in the series. I liked it. Will I continue the series? No. It is set way back during the Tudor England times, in the 14 to 1500s. So if that's not your thing, it is historical fiction. It was a murder mystery. It was fine. I enjoyed it. It was a quick read. Not really interested in the rest of that series though, unless I need one of them for another prompt. It takes place in a monastery, and nuns are the main characters. But oddly, I didn't really get a big religious feel for it. It just so happens that the detective is a sister in a nunnery. The other one that I finished during January was a book by an author whose name starts with N, and I read Optimists Die First by Susan Nielsen. It is a standalone YA novel. It was actually really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh. It was also serious, but the whole point of this novel is that our main character, oh my god, what is her name? Petula. Oh my god, I blinked. I was the last name is DeWild. She essentially is she's not so much a hypochondriac, but she is essentially terrified of everything. She is a pessimist, a self-described pessimist. She thinks of worst case scenarios and goes out of her way to keep herself safe. Everything is a hazard. She won't use public restrooms. She doesn't shake hands. She's just this nervous, anxious wreck and is always thinking of the worst that could happen. And she and her band of misfits all have to go to this art therapy program to deal with their issues. And of course, lo and behold, the new stranger to school comes in, and he's beautiful and weird, and they strike up a friendship, and he helps her break out of her shell, kind of. And of course, you find out why she's in therapy, what happened to make her the way she is, and it's not a plot twist. The whole thing is her little sister died, and she blames herself for it because she made her a costume, and her little sister accidentally swallowed one of the buttons on the costume and died. And ever since then, she has blamed herself and essentially has acted that if, I don't do anything dangerous, I can keep everyone in my life safe, but has encapsulated herself in this bubble. And Jacob, I want to say his name is Jacob, comes in and just upsets her plans and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's great. I'm doing a horrible job of describing this book, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. It did make me chuckle. It did, I thought, cover some heavy topics really, really well. It is set in Canada. It was really good. And then finally, the book that I just finished that I'm counting as part of this, but I just finished it the other night, is a book with the word name in the title, and I finished A Murder by Any Name by Suzanne M. Wolfe. It is the first in her Elizabethan spy mystery, but it's only a duology. There's only 2 of them in that series. I actually really enjoyed this as well. I didn't think that I would, but I enjoyed it. It is set during Queen Elizabeth's reign, Elizabeth I, King Henry VIII's second daughter, and the whole point of that is her ladies in waiting start getting murdered, like one by one, and she brings in spy Nicholas Holt to come in and investigate the murders and find the culprit and save the day. It's got some twists and turns. There's not a strong love interest, which I like. I don't always need that love story. Sometimes I feel that detracts from the novel. So I like that wasn't the big thing. But Nick is a great character. I really, really liked him. I liked how he was written. He's this undercover, I guess that's the point, he's a spy, working for England, and he's tasked with solving these murders, and he's running out of time, and he's against the clock. And I will say that I guessed who the murderer was very early. I didn't have any proof. I just guessed that was who it would turn out to be, and I was correct. But it was still really, really good, and I still really enjoyed it. Other books that I have read in the month of January. Also, I made a reading board for WIPGO as well. WIPGO is bingo with your whips. It is its own thing. Look that up. It is run by Jessie Marie. Jessie Marie does stuff. She runs it. It's fantastic. The whole point is it's like a bingo board. You put your goals you have for cross stitch or knitting or crocheting or painting, whatever your interests are. So I have a cross stitch board. I also have a reading board because I like to challenge myself. And she picks 2 numbers every month, and you try and accomplish your goals. One of the WIPGO numbers drawn in January was also for me to tackle category number 23 on this list, this Pick Your Poison Challenge, which was themed places. And I accomplished 2 of those, of the 4. Oh, I'm sorry. The last task that was for January was a book that takes place in a country that begins with N. I have a book picked. I just haven't started it yet because I do want to eventually tackle all of these. I would love to finish all of these categories. So I plan on doing it and just slowly working my way through them. Anyways, for the WIPGO January, the theme was places. We have a book with a place name in the title. I did not do that one or get to that one. A book with a map on the cover. Did not get to that one. I did get a book set in the mountains. I listened to The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. It is Detective Ellen Warner #1, that series. It was very good. I really, really, really enjoyed that one. Essentially, it is her main character, Ellen, who was a detective, but is taking a leave of absence because she's dealing with the death of her mother, and she before the events before this book start, her mom has died. She had just tackled solving a serial killer case where they almost killed her, and she's dealing with PTSD and is just really, really struggling. And her brother invites her up to stay at this beautiful mountain lodge that's in the Swiss Alps to celebrate his engagement to, his fiance. And she agrees to go with her boyfriend. They go up to this hotel that was previously a sanatorium. And of course, shit hits the fan. It is a murder mystery. People have gone missing. And then there's these mysterious deaths that are happening. Another person goes missing. I was hooked. I listened to this, like I said. I was very, very into it. I had no idea. When the reveal came, I had absolutely no idea. I was blown away. I didn't predict it. I didn't see it coming. The twists were great. So yes, I highly recommend that one as well. And the narrator for that was fantastic. She makes the characters very human, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Then the last book that I guess finished in January for this was a book about traveling, and I read Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. It is the first in her Love and Gelato trilogy. But each of them I think is really a standalone novel from what I've seen. This one was all about Lena and Lorenzo, and it is in Italy. Yes, and then I think her second one is like the main character, Lena's best friend, like back in the States, so related tangentially. Anyways, Love and Gelato is all about Lena. Her mother has just died from pancreatic cancer, and in her final wishes was for Lena to move to Italy and live with this man named Howard, who she has never heard of before, has never met, and she believes is her father. And so she has to leave her home. Her grandmother's on board with this. They ship her across to Italy, and when she is there, she is given one of her mother's journals, and this journal takes her on an adventure. And so she travels to all of these different locations across Italy with Lorenzo, who is an adorable neighbor boy, and he helps her. She is struggling with grief, and she wants to understand who is this Howard guy and what is going on, and her mother's story, because there's this whole side of her mother that she has never even heard of or knew existed. And so she travels around Italy trying to just learn about this part of her mother's life and how it connects to her. It is a YA novel. It was short, it was fluffy. I think I listened to it, the audiobook was like a little over 8 hours long. Just pure saccharine fluff, really, is the only way I can describe it. It followed to me a very standard romantic comedy trajectory of something happens, girl is alone and sad, things happen, there meets a guy, there's friendship, blah blah, argument, whatever, conflict, they realize that we're in love, have to go. Romantic comedy. It was cute, it was fine. I will not be reading the rest of the series or listening to them because it's just not my thing. I don't really like YA romance novels. It's just not. I like fantasy. I like action. I like adventure. I like mystery. If I read a YA, I definitely want it to be like a YA, like sci-fi. I really like Divergent, Hunger Games, Into the World kind of stuff. Not too interested in YA romance. Unless it's really, really well done. Optimist Die First, I enjoyed that. That was more up my alley because it was sarcastic and funny. Versus it was really cute. It was really cute, don't get me wrong. Very cute, very sweet, and predictable. I knew exactly how it was going to play out. What the conflict was going to be, who the conflict was going to be with, what the turn, the twist for that too. I called it from the very beginning. But if that's your thing, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I just won't continue the series. Now, That is not everything that I read in January. There were several other things that I also did in January. So let's pull up my Goodreads. That's not what I want. So in January of 2022, I finished The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. I, at the very beginning, finished Let's Get Invisible by R.L. Stine. It is Goosebumps number 6. I finished Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is the 5th Harry Potter book. All of these I had either started back in December and just like finished up in January, so I don't really count that I read them in January. I'm just letting you know I finished them in January. What I did though, I listened to a series by Simon Kurt Unsworth. It is his Thomas Fool series. There are 2 of them. The Devil's Detective is the first one, and The Devil's Evidence is the second one. Essentially, Thomas Fool is a private investigator in hell, and he has to solve crimes. The first book, in my opinion, was better than the second book. In the first book, it takes place in hell, and people start winding up dead, which you're like, sure, but they're murdered like in this really horrible way, and it's suspicious, and things aren't making sense, and so he is tasked with solving the crimes. In book number 2, he is sent to heaven, and murders are happening in heaven, and he has to solve them, and it's terrible, horrible crimes. I really liked the first one, so I read the second one, but I did not enjoy the second one as much. I also read Deep Sleep by Stephen Konkoly. It's either Konkoly, which doesn't seem right, or Konkoly, and it is his first book in a new series where the protagonist is Devin Gray. I read this with my family. The women on like Bryant's mother's side, we all get together and we read a book and then discuss it, and it was not my choice. It was his mother's choice, I think. Yes. And so we all read it, and we have everyone from his grandmother to me and his sister who are the same age. So we have a vast age group, and so we all get this book, we read the book. This was the book we chose. It was an Amazon like first reads. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get your choice of like novels to read at the beginning of the month. That one was chosen. It was complicated. It was like a CIA political thriller about Russian sleeper agents that are, undercover and have been like undercover in the United States for decades, and were just like, it almost was like the plot of, what was that TV show? My husband watched it, but like the TV show where the Russian people are undercover as American citizens. It was like that. It's like all I could think, but it's like, it was supposed to be that they have like all of these sleeper agents in the United States who, settled down and had kids, and these kids have grown up and have infiltrated like positions of power, and are in like the top. They're senators, and they're in our government, and they're in our technology companies, and now they're having kids, and we have like 3rd generation Russian spies, and Devin Gray's mom like uncovered this plot, but everyone thought she was crazy, and so she was discredited, and then she dies, and dumps it on him, and is like, here you go, and then he gets sucked into this wormhole, and it was a lot. It was very complicated. I definitely struggled with keeping track of like who everyone was. It was told from multiple points of view. It would jump from like, our Americans, like Devin Gray, to like these Russian spies, and then you like undercover in America to people back in Russia, and it was a lot. It was just a lot. It was very, very complicated. I got very confused, like I said, between all of the characters. It was hard to follow the train of logic for like how all of these connections are supposed to work and how this all happened to begin with. It felt like it was really, really, it was all just like thrown at you, and you had to really pay attention and piece it together for yourself. It just really wasn't for me. It was not like, as a book, as a novel, I gave it 4 stars. Like, it was a good book. For me personally, I will not do it again. I will not pursue this series any further. It's just not what I'm interested in. But that's where I am for books for February. What am I still continuing? I'm still reading The Boleyn Inheritance. I'm listening to that in my car. I listen to that in my commute, so I'm still listening to The Boleyn Inheritance by Philippa Gregory. For February, the WIPGO category is number 21, which is shorts, and it's a book less than 100 pages, a book by an author with fewer than 10 letters in their name, a book with a character being towered over on the cover, and a book of short stories. I have already started a book by an author with fewer than 10 letters in their name. I am listening Into the Dark, Dark Woods by Ruth Ware, because that's only 8 letters. So I've started that. Magical Stitches is doing category number 20, which is TBR Crushers. And the prompts for that is a book from your bookshelves you have to dust off. That's easy. I literally have a bookshelf of books that need to be read, and I will probably have dust on them. A book you've been meaning to read forever. Anything you want, and the first book you see on your bookshelf. I'm really going to try and just pick books from my actual bookshelf for this. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. I think that's all I have. I think that's all I want to cover. This has been going on long enough. I'm sorry this is such a long episode, but I feel good. I've given you my January 2022 wrap-up, even if it was convoluted and all over the place. Hopefully this will get better. I want to get better. I want to get back in front of the camera instead of just my hands. So this is me. Here I am. I'm another year older. I guess I should say I'm 28 now. Weird. Not weird. I don't really care about getting older. It's just I'm 28 now. I had a great birthday. I'm surrounded with family and friends, and I hope you all are having a great time and have happiness that you can lean on as well. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. So happy stitching, happy reading, happy listening, happy watching, happy doing whatever it is that makes you happy doing. Gosh, I have not said that in a really long time. So in the meantime, be easy with your heart.